So would you call you Ben or Benjamin or
Yeah, I just go by Ben.
Ben? Yeah,
But
is that pretty all right?
full name so people can hear it. Sometimes at the bar, that's like one of the things that shows all the time. People will mishear my name and they'll go like, "Dan? You're Dan?" I'm like, "Where did you get Dan from?" So I just started doing the full Benjamin thing, clear stuff up, and then I'm like, "And you can call me Ben," and then they know.
Yeah, Dan.
I used to play in a band with my friend was a Van, and so we would like
What?
meet people and be like Van and Ben, and they go like, "Wait, Van and Dan?" And I'm like, "No, that's totally, totally wrong."
that's
But
that's
loud
crazy.
venues, alcohol involved. I guess people hear different things.
They do,
Yeah.
don't they? They do, yeah. So where did you say you are, Ben, at the moment?
What?
Where
What?
else? Where are you at the moment?
Oh, okay. So I'm in. I actually call this space my garage mahal.
Wow, good setup.
And it's just like my practice space that is outside of my house. It's a shed. I converted sort of a she shed thing into the garage mahal. So I had like an 8x6 before, and I zipped the back off of it and built like a 10x12 um,
Nice.
building on the back of it with a 14-foot ridge. So I get some
Yeah.
good space to sleep bands and. Yeah, it's just sort of supposed to be a riding zone. I have like a small demo set up
Yeah.
here that's capable of doing a few, just enough stuff to, like where I can fly tracks around. You know,
Yeah.
there's enough people I've played with like over where you are at in the UK that we like to send stuff back and forth.
Yeah.
Um, so it's mostly stuff like that or friends that live in other states. Yeah.
Nice. It's a nice space. It's a nice space, isn't it, there?
Yeah, yeah. I
Really
can
great.
yeah, do the whole thing. There's
Cool.
I don't know if you can see Ziggy. Here's
Oh,
Ziggy
nice.
Stardust.
Look at him.
He's the main dog around here. He's
Wow.
sunning himself. I got like a little cowboy pool thing, and I
Nice.
built out all this decking too. These like platform decks.
Wow.
Um, and so yeah, this is kind of the space like entering the artistry zone.
Yeah. Is that the shed? Is that the what you've just come out of?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Here,
it looks huge inside.
right. I know. And it looks so small from outside. Like
It does.
yeah, I mean, even in person, everyone that looks at it's like, huh, okay. You know, like that's not
Yeah.
going to be much. And then it's kind of, you enter the portal, if you will, and then it's like, feels way bigger.
Yeah, it looks way bigger inside.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a good amount of space. Yeah, and I designed it for kind of the piano to be anchored in the middle. And, just wanted to have enough workable stuff. So, like, if anybody comes in here, there's already a bass amp. There's multiple guitars and guitar amps and keys and synthesizers and stuff. There's stuff that you can grab to write and record.
Where are you based in the US?
Oh, in Atlanta, Georgia.
Cool.
Yeah,
I've been watching a guy online called Rick Beato. He's from around there somewhere, I think. Is it Atlanta?
yeah. Rick Beato is pretty famous. I don't know where Rick
I'm sure he's
Beato.
from Atlanta. If he's got a studio there, I'm not sure.
Yeah, man. There's so many studios here. It's
Mm.
really wild.
Yeah.
There's yeah. I've actually sort of been making it a goal this year to just go around and see like all the home studios and big studios and things like that. And I've probably already been to about like 27 studios that I didn't know of prior
Really?
to. And they're all super nice. Like
Yeah.
everyone's really got their stuff together. There's
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of custom stuff that's really cool.
I think who else is from around your area? I think an old band, Georgia Satellites, I think was maybe from there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
From Atlanta, weren't they, I think, back in the day. Well, back in
Well,
the
and I'm close to Athens, Georgia, so there's a ton of really famous bands that came out of Athens.
yeah.
Like REM is one of them.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, and the B-52s. It's a pretty
Yeah.
famous Athens band. There's a long list. I mean, of Montreal is from Athens, but Augusta is also a city here in Georgia, and so you get like James Brown and people like that from Augusta.
Wow.
And then Macon is also home to like the Allman Brothers.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, so like my father is a fusion composer and jazz pianist, and when he
Yeah.
was growing up, they would go down to the park to see the Allman Brothers play, but they used to be called the Allman Joys,
Wow.
which was like a candy back in the day. And so they would go up and see them playing before they even became the Allman Brothers, you know.
Yeah.
And the Allman Brothers used to tour a lot down in Florida, actually close to where my mom is from on the west coast of Florida, and so yeah, it's like you used to go down to the pier, and then the Allman
Yeah.
Brothers would just be like playing on the pier to like 30 people, and not like a massive.
Wow.
Yeah. Um,
It's
but there's
crazy.
so many famous musicians and a lot of blues that came, just blues that came out of sort of South Georgia.
Yeah.
Uh, and then if you look at sort of the north of the state, we have part of the Appalachian Mountains that run
Yeah.
into Georgia. And the Appalachians are one of the oldest mountain chains in the world.
Yeah.
Uh, but there's a lot of Appalachian music, so there's all this like country, bluegrass, old time music that comes
Bluegrass.
out
Yeah.
of this area as well. And my uncle actually he's like the head director of one of the largest bluegrass festivals in the state. It's up in this
Wow.
little gold mining town called Dahlonega. It used to just be like nothing there. But they do, I think they were on there technically their like 30th annual Bear on the
Yeah.
Square, um, which just occurred this past weekend. I didn't have enough time to get up there. It's only about an hour outside of the city,
Okay.
but it's wild. People they have all sorts of main acts in different tents and stuff that they put up.
Yeah.
There's just music all around the city. But what happens is all these people from Appalachia from all these states north of us and stuff will come down, and so they'll just be like little ragtime jug bands and stuff that form on the
Nice.
street corners, and there's just people playing music everywhere.
That
Um,
sounds amazing.
Pretty cool. Yeah, yeah. So it's
Mm.
it's a lot of different styles of music. Like that's going on, and then Atlanta has a hugely robust metal scene. We like
Is it?
actually have one of the largest metal fests in the southeast of the United States. Happens here, um, and we have a ton of hip hop. Like I've played on so many hip hop records and rap and stuff because Atlanta's like really well known for hip hop, and so I kind of live in an area of the city called Decatur, and
Mm.
that's where Outkast is from.
You're right. Yeah.
So we got a lot of good influences of music. It's just like this whole
So
melting pot of
different.
music that's from here. Yeah.
So different. So what kind of music are you listening to now at the moment then? I just
Um, that's a good question. I've been listening a lot to this guy Sam Evian.
okay. Is it
He's from
local?
upstate New York.
Okay.
It's kind of it's more like softer rock. It's a little Beatles-ish inspired.
Right.
Kind of similar to Wilco or something. He's got
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
cool, interesting compositions. Just the way it's laid out, I really like lush sonic scapes.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, he's definitely one of the dudes that I've been listening to more often. But I don't know. I rotate through. I was listening to a lot of old like Paul Butterfield blues band, which is this
Okay.
real old Chicago blues. It was killer good. Because I play so many different types of gigs here. I do a lot of rock stuff and
Yeah.
original music, but I also do a lot of solo gigs and stripped down things. And one of my favorite gigs in the city is actually at this old blues joint called Fat Matt's, and it's just a rib shack that cooks up southern ribs, and it's like about a 3 hour gig, so it's definitely like I got to put in some work for it.
Yeah.
Um, since it's known for blues, I try to toss some blues in there. and then I play some of my own songs and things like that. So I was listening to Paul Butterfield Blues Band to kind of get some inspo.
Nice.
Yeah.
It sounds absolutely fantastic where you are. It's such, like you say, it's such a diverse music scene. It's just
It is
every,
very cool. It's just yeah, it's like everything you could think of, and there's really a ton of spots to go. Listen to music. There is
yeah,
a pretty vibrant scene. It's hard to figure out how to turn a dollar in the
yeah,
scene. That's a little bit tougher because there's so many shows to go to, and
mm,
there's so many options. A lot of the
yeah,
show payouts aren't like super great, and stuff like that. So that can be a little tough to manage if like you're just an artist that plays out only a couple times every few
mm,
months or so. Then, most people find that they have to like tour and go to these smaller cities that are closer to us and come back.
yeah,
Um, Before they're able to really, like fund anything like making a EP or a record.
yeah. Is there plenty of places to record then? Like
Yeah,
cheaply, I mean,
yeah, yeah, both. I mean, yeah, there's some of my favorite engineers in the city. Like I have one guy that I record with all the time, Christopher Sampson, who actually worked with the B-52s and a number of other people here. And Chris is fantastic. He's helped out with all sorts of stuff that I worked on. So whether it's like in the studio or live recordings at a venue,
hmm,
he's like one of my main people.
nice. So, like going back to when you were really, really young, can you remember the first song you ever heard? Whether it was in maybe your parents' car or just on the radio at home, or
That's really cool. Uh, I love that question. I don't know. It was probably I think it was a Beatles song, like "Long Winding Road."
that's a good one. That's
Yeah,
nice.
my
Wow.
mom used to play me versions of stuff like that when I was a baby. Uh, and I don't remember who was covering it. But I grew up with that kind of stuff, and yeah, I
Yeah.
would say it's probably one of the first songs I remember.
Yeah, yeah, just like consciously. Usually people say it's when the parents are driving them somewhere in the car or school or the jobs, something, it
Yeah,
just one song just sticks in your mind, I think, you know.
that's very cool. No, yeah, I would say that. I remember like one of the first songs I learned on guitar. So I started playing guitar when I was 8. I did go to see the Rolling Stones, I think, when I was 6. I have like a little bit of a memory of that concert.
Where were the Stones playing then? Where did they play?
They played a big amphitheater here, but I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. It was probably like Lakewood Amphitheater. It was like where there's a lot of really huge shows.
Yeah.
I remember I like went to Lakewood to see Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I saw Yes there.
Oh,
Um, I saw King Crimson. I think played like a small like a variety playhouse. There's
yeah.
another venue here that's like more like slightly smaller than the amphitheater.
Nice.
Um,
Are these like big venues as well, like stadiums or?
yeah, the amphitheater is like a stadium. Like Lakewood
Okay,
is
yeah.
big big
Yeah, yeah,
stadium.
yeah.
Yeah. So
All
I'm
right,
sure the
that's pretty
Stones
cool.
played like something like that. Like it would have been huge. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's just an outside venue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So what did your parents listen to? What kind of music did they like? Were they into?
Well, yeah, as I mentioned, my dad was a fusion composer, so like he was really into stuff like you know, Chick Corea and Mahi Vishnu Orchestra. Definitely a huge King Crimson fan. Um, Pat Metheny group.
Oh
He
yeah,
was really a huge fan of Lyle Mays. Who's Pat Metheny's other main piano player and
yeah.
co-writer. Um, so a lot of people in that realm. Return to Forever. And a lot of those bands I actually did get to see play in some form, which is cool.
Yeah. So what was your mom into?
Uh, she loves Sting,
Right. Okay.
actually. Yeah, I always remember her like working out to this one Sting record in the morning. Uh, yeah, those are funny questions. I haven't thought about that in years. And my dad, yeah, kind of grew up like being a hippie in the States. So there's like all of the stuff like Jethro Tull,
Yeah.
and yeah, the Beatles and the Stones, Hendrix, Zeppelin, all of the main stuff like that.
Yeah.
There is a huge festival that happened here in Georgia, called the Byron Pop Festival. It happened a little after Woodstock. It
Okay.
was actually larger than Woodstock. It
Really?
just didn't get as much press. Yeah, and
What?
so my uncle went to it with a bunch of his friends when they were real young, and there's like a little documentary you can find about it. And it's like all these hippies, like all show up in this small Georgia southern town of all these rednecks for this massive rock and roll festival where Zeppelin is playing and Hendrix, and and anybody else that you could think of, and like Dylan and stuff, and Zappa.
Yeah.
And there's like all these hippies that are like naked, bathing themselves in a creek, trying to cool off because it gets really hot out here. And so apparently, what happened was that the governor declared like a state of emergency because there's like so many people coming in this one area, they didn't have any way to like feed all
Yeah.
these people, control them. They hired bikers, as you do, to like
Yeah.
try to wrangle people in and have some sense of security. And when he did that, it just helped promote the festival more.
Mm.
So, like, all the teenagers in all of Atlanta and all around the state were like, "Oh, that's the place we got to go to right now."
Oh.
So they have like 4x the amount of people just by mistake, and it's really funny to see in that documentary. There's like a picture of the jailhouse, and
Yeah.
it's one cell. Police can't do anything about it. There was nothing that
No.
anybody could do. But all these farmers came through, that were South
Oh,
Georgia farmers, and they were like bringing in truckloads of watermelons and stuff
oh,
just to
really?
like feed people and keep people hydrated. But it's kind of a fascinating thing. So yeah, my parents and my uncles got to like really enjoy some pretty wild, crazy music
Yeah.
scenarios that just happened, throughout that time period as they were growing up.
70s just were the best era, I think.
Yeah, it would have been pretty cool to experience all that. It sounds pretty wild.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does, doesn't it? It does. It does. You couldn't do anything like that now, could you? I don't think
No,
anything like
I don't
that would
think
happen
not on
now.
the same. I played Bonnaroo over here, and it's similar, but it's like
Hmm.
if Disney took over a music festival, right? Not to like cut
Yeah.
on Bonnaroo, but kinda, because we played outside of not like one of the main stages, and we're in
Yeah.
all the tents and huge tent cities and all this stuff, but. Um, it's much more organized, but then you have to wait in a super long line to get into like the middle of Bonnaroo. And then once you're in there, it's like $35 for a mixed drink. And you can't bring in outside alcohol, and it's just
Yeah.
all these rules and stuff. And I understand that actually might prevent a lot of people from getting hurt if maybe they're not as like messed up. But I mean, there's enough people like dropping acid and then waiting in a line
Yeah.
for an hour and wandering in and walking back out. So I don't really know if like any of that's for the betterment of all the people
Yeah.
watching. It's more just like that they have all this these rules,
Yeah.
about how it should go down. And there's just all these different places to go by. So I don't know. I have tons of friends that love Bonnaroo, so I'm not saying it wasn't like a great experience or something, but it's
Yeah.
not the same. It's a very
No.
commodified version of what that would
Mm.
look like. I
Yeah.
would think like maybe like Burning Man or Coachella is like a little bit more close
Yeah.
to like what it used to be like, but even that stuff is
Mm.
a million sponsors and all these people. It's not just like, oh, these guys decided to throw a huge music festival in the middle of nowhere and
Yeah.
just show up. Just people just have no plan. Yeah.
Yeah. So you said you started playing guitar when you was how old? 8 year old.
Yeah, hey,
Eight. What kind of made you want to pick up the guitar and start playing? Was there like a spark that hit you? Think what did you watch somebody maybe on the TV or you heard a record or
yeah, maybe it was just from growing up listening to rock and roll. I love that my dad played piano, but part of it, I remember like going on some vacations and you're like, you can't take a piano on a vacation. Like, where's it gonna fit in the car? I was like, I want like something that's like mobile that I can like play somewhere else. And it's different than what my dad played, so.
yeah,
I think that was like important too. That like I wanted to play music, but didn't want to do like his specific thing.
yeah,
Even though I
something.
still play some piano and I write piano songs.
Hmm, that's pretty cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So bringing it up
So,
to date, how did you end up at Abbey Road in
well,
the UK?
yeah, the first UK tour I did about 3 or 4 years ago now. I think my son was like 1 or 2.
Hmm.
And and then I was like, and honey, I'm gonna be gone in Europe for like 2.5 weeks. So, not too long, but like leaving the baby behind. And it was actually over our my wife is incredible, Melissa. She's so sweet. But it was happened to also be booked over our 5th anniversary.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, I'm gonna be like on tour during our 5th anniversary and not watching this baby. So in my mind, I was
Yeah.
like, I better make this deal a lot sweeter, and I booked this time for just us to go to Copenhagen afterwards.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
but yeah, I was working with a friend of mine, Kyle Gordon, who introduced me to Ian and Ange of We Believe.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I started working with Kyle on his stuff in Mama Bear. And so I said, I kind of want to be able to play a bunch of my Gashound stuff as well.
Hmm.
And we're going to go over there. And both Kyle and I work with Chris Sampson, who I mentioned earlier, this engineer
Yeah.
that we work with closely here. And we're working on booking these dates out. And I'd always dreamed of playing overseas. So we were talking to Ian off and on, who is just wonderful to talk to, and we're just getting to know him, and trying to decipher y'all's accent that we can't hear so well on a long distance call, and book all these dates. So I'm like booking all the dates and kind of helping, because I've booked a lot of tours here, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, it looks kind of the same for me. I open a map, look at the campaign, like this town is close to this town,
Yeah.
zoom in, put in live music on Google, see what venues come up, kind of flip through them, see which one feels right, looks right, and then start looking at like who's playing there and then start hitting up bands,
Mm.
that kind of thing. So we're like going through that process, building the tour out, and I'm talking to Chris, and Chris goes like, "Well, wouldn't it be cool if you recorded while you guys were over there?" And I was like, "Yeah, it'd be a dream. I've always wanted to do like a full tour and then end in the studio because you'd
Yeah.
be like red hot coming off the tour and you ready to perform." And then he, suggested the idea of like, why don't you guys record it at Abbey Road? And I was like, yeah, I don't know, Chris, why don't we fly to the moon? Like, why don't we go to Mars, Chris? Thanks. Like, what a great idea. So yeah, at first I was like, man, this is absurd. Why would you even, but I love that Chris thinks that way. I love anyone that is kind of, a little bit larger than life. Like,
Yeah.
to just settle for things. You can live a little bit in this life. It's okay. And so I thought, you know what? Why don't I just look into it? And I sent a couple of emails, and they got back to me,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, it's not unattainable in price.
Yeah.
And we were booking stuff about 8 months in advance, and I
Mm.
did a lot of work too on putting like the tour ad mats together and graphic design. I do all kinds of stuff like that because I
Yeah.
have to do everything from the ground up and make all our content and stuff. but it was enough time to like conceptualize all of those pieces fitting together. And it was really fun to go through and like, here's a list of engineers and their credits, and they're all
Mhm.
like amazing people and people that worked with the Beatles and the Pixies and the
Yeah.
Stones, and it's like you name it, they worked with Pink Floyd. And you're like, okay, so do we want like the Pink Floyd guy, or do we want the Radiohead guy, or do we want the? And I was like, yeah, I want the Johnny Greenwood guy that worked with Paul Thomas Anderson, like
Wow.
that guy.
Mm.
Let's get him.
Jeez.
Um,
So, did you
yeah.
actually? What did you record there?
Well, we kind of did like two different things. We booked two 10-hour days, and my concept was I was gonna go in with doing a lot of just live solo acoustic stuff, because I was like,
Yeah.
what can I figure out that I can get done within this time that would be played live, finished, done, and cut.
Yeah.
And Kyle's thought process is a little different than mine. He actually ended up tracking a bunch of stuff while he was there, and we had a friend of ours, John Chamberlain, who plays for his band Box Time in the Penny Drops. And he came in multiple times throughout the tour, even after the date that we played with him. But he came into the studio to play and add some guitar onto Kyle's stuff. So we ended up taking Kyle's stuff and finishing it out, and turned it into a 7-inch that we toured on the next time that we came back to the UK. But he just got
Mm.
his two songs done by doing a bunch of tracking and finishing it later back here.
Oh.
And what I did was more of that acoustic upfront live approach.
Yeah.
I did a couple of things though that were on piano.
Mm.
Well, we were in London at the beginning of the tour. We were gonna like circle back, and fly out. And so I had met this beautiful clarinet player. He's a Turkish clarinet player that plays in
Mm.
G. And I met him at his like Lion Records and Coffee, I believe it was. So I was just playing for this little coffee shop as like a day gig kind of thing before
Yeah.
we went to the gig at night, and playing piano. And this guy rolled in and starts playing clarinet with me. And by the end of us playing together, we were both crying. And we were
Oh.
like, wow, this was super powerful. Like, I don't know what just happened. And I went up to him, tried to talk to him, and he didn't speak English. We're like, okay, we're getting the shop owner to like kind of translate for us.
Oh,
But it's
really?
like we just shared this whole beautiful moment without
Yeah.
any language other than music, which I thought was just
Unbelievable.
incredible. And
Yeah.
it's actually the first day I met Ian, because he was coming to meet us at that coffee shop. So it's
Oh,
like
wow.
Ian had walked in, give me this big hug, and I was like crying with this Turkish clarinetist, and I was like, "What's going on in England? This is a cool vibe here." So I invited him that day. I was like, "I'm gonna be back here in a week, and
Yeah.
would you, be available to play at Abbey Road?" And I basically had the manager, the shop guy, like figure out how to make sure that we had those details clear, and we
Yeah.
just put it on a piece of paper, and I was like, show up this day at 3 o'clock, and I'll
Oh,
PayPal you money right now for the session. uh,
yeah.
sure enough, he showed up right on time.
Wow.
um, so that was a really beautiful track. It's actually one that I still need to release. It's called A Mistake.
Mm.
And I did two piano pieces like that. And so he came in to play Turkish clarinet, and then the day before I recorded um, him playing, we also had this other guy that I'd met on the tube. I was kind of like wretchedly hungover from playing in Carrick the day before, and we like needed to move the car, and I was with Ian, and we're like slept like 4 hours, and we're like, we gotta move like the car before it gets impounded or something. And then I had a bunch of errands that I needed to knock out before going in the studio, and I just saw this guy that had this huge case, an instrument case, and I was like, that's got to be like a cello or something. And
Mm.
anyone that's about this guy's age riding the train with an instrument of that size knows how to play it.
Yeah.
Like, there's just like no question in my mind. I had two stops, so I went over to him. I was like, I am recording Abbey Road tomorrow. All this other stuff isn't important. I don't really have enough time to introduce myself to you. I don't need to know your name, but I need to
Mm.
know if you can be there. And I'm gonna get your number right now. And I just had two stops to do it, and I just looked him dead in the eye and was like, "You got to show up at this time to do it. I'm sending you money right now."
Wow.
And so both of them showed up to Abbey Road on time, like early, about like 15 minutes early. Came right in, did
Yeah.
two songs back to back, beautifully live together in the room. Had never met each other, and it was just unbelievable. It sounded killer. So I'm really excited to release those two tracks.
Yeah.
Like if anything, I can get those. But I also got all those
Mm.
acoustic tracks, and then I had written a book of poetry that I had arranged and put together and self-published and had printed before I came over. And
Mm.
so I took a bunch of soundscapes from like iPhone recordings of the tour and had those as like soundscapes for readings, and I did readings while I was there.
Wow.
So this full record that I kind of put together is like cobbled together between acoustic songs, those piano tracks with
Yeah.
the clarinet and the cello, and then these poetry readings. And there's also a song on there that's a dedication to Ian for
Mm.
being so sweet and shepherding us around the country. You know, and then Ian and Ange took us the second time too, both together.
Yeah.
Um, but I had written a song at High Force while on tour up in Teesdale, and so I like wrote it there, got to London. I remember finishing the lyrics by the moorings on the walk into Abbey Road, and then was like,
Mm.
okay, I have to sit down and perform it, and like this is the thing, we're doing it
Wow.
now. And so I finished it there, and I think I added like one or two things when I got back home here with Chris.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, it's called High Watermark, and that song's for Ian. I've
Wow.
sent it to him. But
Is
yeah,
it?
it was just like amazing how many synchronicities and things lined up all just for that
Yeah.
to happen. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it was
That's. I bet
bizarre.
the. I bet the. I'd like to hear the cello and the clarinet together. I bet that is fantastic.
I'll send it to you. You can hear
Yeah,
it.
I'd love. Because I've been looking at stuff you've been doing, and I came across the clarinet guy,
Yes.
clarinet player, and he's got a right. He's a bit jazz, is it?
Yeah, go. His name's Gurkhan. I gotta look up his
Mm.
last name. And he goes
Yeah,
by like Demi. Um, he'll probably say I'm butchering it, but he's like pretty well known.
he
Uh,
is. Yeah,
yeah, he's and he plays really large places. Um,
yes, he does. He does.
yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it, but like Gokhan Demir Domez.
Mm.
Um, he actually came out the second time we toured too. We were playing at the London Eye or the Camden Eye. Right, this is like a flat iron building right in the middle of
Yeah,
Camden, and he came out and actually played on High Water Mark with me. I
yeah.
had do just like a live, totally impromptu version,
Oh,
which was super cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
When was that? When did you tour then? You've done two tours in England.
Yeah, they were both in October.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
so I didn't get back last year, so it would have been like 2022 and 2023, I think, or 23 and 24. I can't remember exactly. It's been a couple of years though since we've been able to get back. We've been
Yeah,
wanting to
yeah,
get back, but yeah, it's like we're politically on fire over here. Just like
yeah.
a massive dumpster fire that we're living through every day.
I
Um,
can imagine.
I don't think it bodes well in other places. Like we're all ashamed. Yeah, yeah, we're not from America.
You can have to try and put on an English accent, won't you?
Yeah, yeah, or at least I could like feign like I'm Canadian or something. I don't think I could pass for Mexican, but yeah, I could try like anything else.
Mexican.
Yeah.
That's
I think
unbelievable.
sometimes I
Yeah.
get enough tan and yeah, but not really.
So, like, bringing it back up to date again about your original music. I've been listening to the tracks that you've got online and things like that. I must say it's my kind of music, totally unexpected. I wasn't
Very cool,
expecting
man.
anything like I heard. I mean, it was almost like obviously it's like a 70s kind of sound I got, a little bit like a the Doors maybe
Yeah, I love the Doors.
that kind of stuff coming out, but definitely anything it fit into any Tarantino movie. I think
Very cool.
any
That's
of
a
your
high compliment.
songs,
I really appreciate that.
any of your songs would fit in. It just took me back to like any Tarantino kind of film. That's
Very
what I.
cool. Well, that's
That's
a
what I.
huge compliment, man. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I
Um,
kind of got the vibe. But yeah,
yeah,
I love it.
a lot of them are meant to be kind of cinematic,
Yeah,
and a lot of it's meant to not be totally stuck in like a specific genre.
no,
Um, I think it all sounds like me, but it's all
yeah,
it's definitely I have a wide range of influences. It's all shades of rock, but
yeah. I mean, which one is it? One of the kind, one of a kind.
yes, yeah.
One. I mean, it totally reminds me of the Black Keys, and
Oh, very cool.
I love the Black Keys.
Yeah,
Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, it just it's got that kind of a sound to it. But
they yeah.
yeah, it's so cool. It's so cool. So what you do a lot of live shows, don't you? Like you say, a lot of
Yes.
rock shows.
Yeah, I'm playing Thursday at a little rock club here called Star Bar with another band of mine that's, well, friends, not my band, that it's really cool. They're like a new and up and coming band. They used to have an older band. They just started this new band called the Lobotomy Party. Um, which is also kind of a comment on how insane things have been recently. I'm just
Yeah,
like, join the party. Um, they're great. They're kind of like gothic rock and roll, but it's fun and up and a little bit like Queens of the Stone Age.
yeah.
And they're killer. But yeah, I play really often. So I try to keep stuff rolling. Like after that, I'll this week, I'll be playing. I actually will be in the studio this whole next weekend with a friend of mine, Will Dollinger. He's coming down from upstate New York, and he does a little bit more folky kind of stuff.
Hmm.
So we're gonna have studio session where we're tracking a bunch of his stuff, but part of it will be open to the public and sort of like an in studio
Wow.
show.
Mm.
And there's a number of dates that are booked, through next month and into June and into July. And I just kind of try to like roll as much booking as I can.
Mm. Mm.
One of the things that keeps me playing the most is actually I play for a yoga class we call Sonic Yoga. I do it with my friend Felipe,
Oh wow.
um, and he's an incredible yoga instructor. He's a certified yoga instructor.
Mm.
Um, he's also a Reiki practitioner,
Yeah.
and he does myofascia massage.
What's that?
Um, Fascia is like the it's hard to describe. It's like a
Hmm.
layer above your muscles, and you have fascia like all over your body.
Okay.
And when you're younger, your fascia is like more pliable, like a baby,
Hmm.
you can like stretch and do all kinds of stuff. And as you get older, it hardens, and so the massage is supposed to help loosen that up.
Hmm.
And people find a lot of physical benefits as much as they do like emotional well-being.
Yeah.
Uh, as people say, like certain parts of the body can hold like trauma or
Yeah.
different emotional memories, and so it's like one of the things that's kind of tapped into that. And so we've been kind of putting together this holistic happening, and it's every week, and people just pay what they want. It's
Hmm.
donation based. It's purely just as a service from humans to humans,
Hmm.
and it gets me playing music every week, so I love it. But I go and I score this yoga class at a community garden that's near here. And I even have a rig set up that works off of like a little lunchbox battery that's solar powered. And
Yeah.
so I can bring it anywhere. Like I could be on top of a mountain or in the woods, and run the whole rig. And it's a very cool meditative kind of psychedelic experience,
Yeah.
without any of the the psychedelics involved, just the music. So, yeah, but it's called Sonic Yoga, and it's been really fun because it's, I get to score what's happening in real time, but I have to be on for playing at least like about an hour and 15 minutes straight, and
Wow.
it's all basically improv.
Yeah.
So it changes every time. And I see like little themes that will develop and devolve, and then it'll evolve into something else, and things roll around, and some things just happen and dissolve. So yeah, it's a very cool practice for a guitar player and for me, constantly exploring. So I feel like
Yeah.
as a musician, like you got to be playing all the time, really
Yeah.
keep your.
That's That just sounds pretty cool, that, doesn't it? Yeah, I like that. I like the thought of
It's,
that actually. Yeah.
yeah, we had someone just come the other day. It was just one person. They got to the end of it, and they said, wow, I cannot tell you how much I needed that because this week has
Yeah.
been so hard. And I was like, that's all the payment right there. It's just
Yeah.
that one phrase of one person can end up at the end of this, yoga gig or at the end of a show and just go like,
Yeah.
man, I needed that. I needed to hear that to feel
Yeah.
better. Like that's our goal as, as musicians, right?
Mm.
People that are providing a spiritual service without the religious context having to
Yeah.
muck it up, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the pure transmission and reception and being able to translate these things between us, just like
Yeah.
that moment with me and Demi at the coffee shop.
Yeah.
Like we may not, I might not speak Turkish, but like we're human and we can have this shared experience on a deep level.
Yeah. So,
I'm a completely independent artist, so all the funding, all just comes from me working,
yeah.
and and going out and playing more shows. So, and like I said, we do okay out here, but like Atlanta doesn't pay a whole lot for live music. I'm constantly trying to release stuff, and even if it's a money issue, then maybe there's another way to release things. I do actually have a couple of albums recorded, and
Oh,
it's just one of the concerns was is that yeah the I want to like campaign it properly,
yeah.
and we want to make sure that we do enough PR. And I really appreciate you meeting and talking with me today because it's a big part of it. It's like
Yeah.
getting to talk about it with other people.
Mm.
Yeah, it just takes a lot of work, and I've done that for a lot of other bands that I've played with in the past. I played
Yeah.
with this other band for over a decade called the Buzzards of Fuzz, and I handled all of the press and all that stuff with my other friend Van. I was telling you that we'd
Yeah.
introduce ourselves as Van and ended up being Van and Dan from the Buzzards of Fuzz, or the Fuzzards of Buzz. Um, but yeah, we'd it's a lot of work, but I'm gearing up
Mm.
for it now. I feel better than I have in a real long time, and I have a ton of songs that I'm ready to record, and a lot of songs that have been recorded. So I'm excited about like what will come to release a record because there's a lot of new songs
Yeah.
to come out either way. Maybe a batch of about like 36 songs
Wow.
that are in the wings. But for now, I'm kind of just on this single campaign, like at least
Yeah.
keep some singles rolling.
Mm.
Um, and then, yeah, but I think we'll be announcing a full length record, fairly soon.
Yeah. So who did all the artwork for the video that you did? It's on YouTube, isn't it? For one of your songs. Who did that? You?
I wish I did. I have an awesome friend in Indonesia, Zulfa, and he goes by Z. And Z did all of that animation himself.
Oh.
which is awesome. I use Z
Yeah.
for all kinds of stuff because I also work with a lot of bands and manage them. I help
Hmm.
strategize campaigns and book tours and how they're going to do
Okay.
releases. And so Z has helped me out with a lot of that Buzzard stuff, but with like a number of other people. And we had done some kind of animation work in the past, but he
Hmm.
really outdid himself on that one for
Yeah.
one of a kind. And just like went all in, and that was like a 3 month project for him. But I mean, he's a guy that like you hire him and he gets it done, and he's working on it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing in the music industry or anywhere. Um, Someone's just like constantly working on it as he was taking in all these other projects and stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, he's made all
So do
kinds
you,
of logos for me and
yeah.
like everything you can think of. Yeah.
So do you say you manage bands as well? And
Um,
what kind of band?
yeah.
Similar kind of thing?
What's that?
Similar kind of thing to what you play, or just totally different sounding bands?
Yeah, they can be kind of different. It's more like I'll less of like a managing role and more of like a consultant. You could think
Okay.
of it. But I'll do kind of like whatever they need. Um, like there's a friend of mine who has some incredible music. Charlie Garrett. He goes by Houston in the Blind. He's also an Athens musician. He's got two full length records out.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm playing on the second record, so I had some skin in the game, which is really cool because there's a couple of songs that Sven Pippian from the Black Crows
Oh
uh,
yeah.
is playing on. He's the bass player for the Black Crows,
Love the
and
Black Cross.
we weren't
Hmm.
in the studio together at the same time, but he played on the tracks and I played on the tracks, um, which was very cool.
Yeah.
Uh, and so the second record that Charlie put out, he wanted to tour, and Charlie's really great at booking shows as well. But it's like, he just needed someone to help do a little bit of the extra work,
Okay.
and send a few extra emails and that kind of stuff, and put some of the tour ad mats together and the
Yeah.
graphics. I helped them with some of the merch and stickers and creating some designs, just to like freshen up the look of
Yeah.
everything. And so we did a couple of things together where we went out west. He booked a first kind of smaller tour for it that was all in the Southwest, and we started up in Colorado. I joined
Yeah.
him for about half of it, and we went down to New Mexico, and did a really cool live session in Taos, New Mexico, at Dennis Hopper used to own a theater there,
Okay.
and it's this old Pueblo theater that was built like in the late 1800s, and it's been preserved, and he used to live in it and actually like lived up, and it was like a classical sense of a theater, and that like they had actors and people on
Yeah.
stage, and then it became like one of the first kind of movie theaters, and there's a projector room there, and so
Right.
his bedroom was like the projector room. uh, um,
Yeah.
and now it's this like really weird desert studio in the middle of nowhere, basically, because Taos is just like about as far away from
Yeah.
civilization as you can get. Um, and we went there to hang out in Taos. So you'll see even on like my link tree, there's two videos from there. There's a guy that we ran into that just happened to play incredible accordion, like
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah.
professional level. That was
Yeah.
just like literally made within about 30 minutes of meeting him.
Really?
Yeah, I had a video camera with me, and I was like, "Here, Charlie, just like hold the camera on this railing, and then
Wow.
film us out here." And he had never heard that song before, and I was like, "Yeah, this guy's gonna play. We're gonna do this thing," and then I'll just be like, "Pff, done." Which was super cool. So we ended up doing that, and then we ended up doing another recording at Dennis Hopper's place in that studio.
Wow.
Um, we did a West Coast tour together. That was really fun. We started in LA, rented a car that looked like a golf cart, and then drove it 1,700 miles up the coast into Canada to Vancouver and back
Oh,
through a snowstorm with like the smallest tires I've ever seen on a car. Really thought we might lose it on that one. Um, but yeah,
so you do a lot of session work, don't you, with the sounds of it?
yes, very
Mm,
often.
loads of session work. Is it just that's just helping bands out, or is it like professional as well in
Yeah,
the
it's
studio?
professional. Sometimes I get hired, for different sessions,
Yeah.
depending on who it is, and the engineers might refer me. There's
All
somebody that
right.
needs a guitar player, and for the same reason too that I'll come in and not just play guitar. I might help produce a little bit. I might
Hmm.
also help them envision what it looks like for their release and
Yeah.
and how they can get it to a wider audience and move them to a couple shows and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of like professional studio work that I do.
Mm.
Um, and I prefer going to larger studios, even though I will demo some stuff here in the space that I'm in right now.
Yeah.
Uh, but I like going to a big studio and showing up, and they have like
Yeah.
really
Yeah. Do you record a lot
like
in your home studio?
um yeah, I do, but it's mostly like demos on my iPhone. Like
Yeah.
I have an audio interface here, and we've begun to several of my bands and stuff do like more uh, demos here just to
Mm.
save time before going to the studio.
Yeah.
But I'm a huge fan of. I built it as a writer's space
Mm.
specifically, to almost as a no screen zone, because I
Yeah.
just wanted like a no distractions place where I could get the songs done.
Mm.
And what I do like about the iPhone and just tossing it up is like, can you write the song, play the song from beginning to end, and
Yeah.
arrange it and have some kind of form, and then there's this thing of a reference to go back to that's just a down quick and dirty kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like if it had a 4 track, I'd probably do it on that and just
Yeah.
straight to a cassette even, just to like fit the vibe, and it's just like straight to the throat of the thing. Like something about like having the pop up like the DAW and like I'm gonna open a track now I'm gonna do this. Like I just want
Yeah.
to write the song. If the
Yeah.
song is written, then we can do a lot with it. Then we can take
Yeah.
it wherever. And there's a lot of engineers who are incredible at what they do, who play,
Mm.
who work as an engineer and can mix and
Yeah.
record as well as I can play guitar. And so
Mm.
to me, it always just made sense like, I'm going to focus on playing guitar and writing songs, and this guy's going to focus on recording, and I want to go to
Yeah.
that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like being in the studio? Do you like the process of it, or is it?
Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, I love being in the studio. I've worked on so many records, countless records, and
Mm.
some stuff that came out and some stuff that didn't, but it's always fun to see how it works in different ways.
Mm. Cool. When you coming back to the UK then, Ben? I know you
Well,
said you were
I
planning
would
to, but
love to come back to the
mm.
UK, and we just haven't gotten any hard dates yet. I
Yeah.
know Kyle was kind of bantied about the idea. The last time was so fun because and Kyle really did a lot of work, and his wife Kit, who's also amazing, um, with Ian and Ange. They put together a beautiful tour, and we were able to come back with like a full band, which was
Yeah.
so fun because the first one was like really us kind of trading songs and doing acoustic stuff, and it was like bringing the full band back was cool.
Mm.
Um, that when I come back the next time, which I hope will be soon, um, my vision was kind of more like a two or a three piece. So
Yeah.
maybe something like in between where it's not so many mouths to feed and so many people, but like we can still have a pretty full sound and we can
Yeah.
still do some acoustic stuff, but also, like get a big rock show experience happening.
Yeah. Where
Yeah.
did you get to last time you was in the UK then? Whereabouts did you kind of up and down the country?
Yeah, we went to Manchester and Birmingham,
Mm.
and um, I'm kind of mixing all the tours together in my head. Like we went to Rotherham,
Yeah,
um, we went to Stockton on Tees, Liverpool. You know, we play dates in London every time that we come in. On the
yeah,
first tour, we played in Wales and we played it in Carrick, Edrudian, and then the second time we were able to add on Edinburgh.
yeah,
We were able to get up into Scotland, which was
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. It's nice.
Yeah, it was really cool. And especially for us, like, we don't have stuff like that really in the States.
Mm.
Uh, the oldest things that are here, like from the 1700s, and that's like rare.
Yeah,
And, it's like we're staying in apartments that are like, from the 1500s. Like, you just go and like hang out at a hotel that's like older than your entire country.
yeah,
For us, it's like completely fascinating. You know,
yeah.
I know when you're like around it, you can probably get desensitized to it,
Yeah,
but
you do a little bit. Yeah,
yeah. Like
you
to
do
us,
a
we're
little
like
bit.
walking around like there's like fairies and ogres and magic happening everywhere. Like, this is crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I love it over there. I
Yeah,
miss being there in the UK, and I'd love
yeah.
to come back.
Hmm.
Where are you based out of, Mark?
I'm in Yorkshire.
Oh, okay. Very
Yeah,
cool.
so I'm from where Anthony and live in Liverpool. I'm probably about maybe an hour drive.
Yeah.
So it's not far. It's not far, but yeah, I've got to know Anthony pretty well, and they just do so much for like young bands and things like that.
That's incredible.
It's
Yeah.
tireless what they do. They're up and down the country. I mean, they're not young, are they?
Yeah.
They're not young, so I mean, they're up and down the country with these bands. It's just incredible what they do. So they're so supportive
Yeah,
of
I've just watched them grow it and grow it and
yeah,
grow it. I mean, it's crazy. It's just from that like one little spark into
yeah, yeah. 'Cause I
yeah.
think it was Ian who started it all, wasn't it?
Yeah, I kind of feel like it was I mean, I could be wrong in taking the claim, but Ian coming with us on that first
Mm,
tour where we were just trading these acoustic sets out and just doing it down dirty, and it was like, I
yeah,
mean, if there was an electric in the room, I'd play electric, and if there was a
yeah,
drum set, Kyle might hop on it or something.
mm,
But we just did it totally freeform. It was like
yeah,
the first tour too, where I decided I wasn't going to use any set lists. It just
yeah,
had to be all in the moment and
mm,
intuitive and played for that moment to whatever room that we're in.
yeah,
And doing all that with Ian was just so incredible. And he got to come to Abbey Road with us. And
yeah,
um, I mean, I believe that was like the first real big spark that got
yeah,
Ian like just totally fired up. I could
yeah.
be wrong, but I want to take part of the credit for it because I love that. Yeah, I just love being there with him.
I think you should. I think you should take it. I think you should take the credit for it as well, by the sounds of
I'll
it.
take I'll take a piece of it. I mean, Ian did it. Ian's the one that did it all. Yeah,
Yeah,
we kept saying it. It was like he was like the right hand of God. He just like
yeah.
shepherded us across the country, and
Nice.
it was amazing. And he was just so supportive and
Mm.
motivating the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, they're great. They're great people. Absolutely great. Fantastic
Yeah,
people. Well, Ben, thank you so much for coming on and chatting. It's been an eye
absolutely.
opener. It's
Yeah,
been eye
thank you
opening.
for having
It's
me on,
been
Mark.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been real. That's not your dog. There's a dog here, I think, barking somewhere.
Well, he's also barking. We might both have barking dogs.
Oh, is it your end?
I think he's just barking at my neighbor Krista whenever she parks the car.
Yeah, it's. I'd love talking to you. I love listening to your stories. I could listen to you all night, chatter on about your stories, and you.
Ah, that's very sweet of you. You guys are
Yeah,
awesome. I love it over there, man. Everyone's
yeah,
so
it's okay.
yeah. Well, we'll have to come to Yorkshire next time.
Next time you're coming over, keep in touch, and next time you're coming over, just drop me a bell, or I'll drop you my
Yeah,
number, and just every time you're over, just definitely
I will
come and
absolutely let you know.
come and meet up
Yeah,
and things.
I
Yeah,
keep
that'd be
wanting to come
great.
back. There's so many people I love playing with.
Mm.
I know Oliver Shaw's in London,
Yeah,
and we played a lot with Oliver, and like I said, John Chamberlain and all his bands, and my
yeah,
friend Tom Peplow is just super cool. Um, I don't know. There's a handful of people that have become
yeah.
close friends from playing, and I want to just
Mm.
come back and see everybody, like, you
Yeah,
know.
definitely.
Which
It'd be
is
great to
part of
see
it
you.
for me. I'm like, I'm cool to just come back with an acoustic guitar and just like hang out with my friends and play songs. It sounds wonderful.
Yeah, it'd
Yeah.
be cool. It'd be so
Yeah.
cool. Thanks again, Ben. It's been brilliant.
Absolutely. Thank you. See you, man.